Hello and welcome to What's Bubbling at ZIM. Today we've got the particle emitter. Woohoo! Let's go take a look at the ZIM site and see what that involves. A particle emitter, hey, it emits particles. So if we come on down in the ZIM site, here's the intro to it. Whoa, neat, huh? Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Whoom. What do you think? Particles. So what you do is you click on that and it takes you into a mini site of different particles. So here a bunch of particles just, and these are small examples all done in about 10 minutes sort of thing. So these are a bunch of particles that overlap onto one another because there's a gravity sink at the same location. So they shoot out and then they overlap. Here we have snowflakes, traditional snowflakes falling, and this is a flame, so you can do flames, and of course fireworks, and this is an atom. And here we have like tiles that are falling. Okay, let's go in and take a look at them. So we're now getting a kind of a trails effect done with the particle emitter as well on the menu itself. And it's got a sink that follows the mouse. So as I move the mouse, the sink is where the particles want to go to. If you don't have gravity or that kind of thing. So a couple of these use a sink, async. Sorry, we've got ZIM async, of course, but that's different than a sink. This is S-I-N-K, stuff going down a drain in a sense. All right, so let's click on this one and see what that looks like. So there's a bunch of particles just emitting. Now we have no gravity here, and the force is shooting them out, and then a sink that's in behind at the same position is pulling them back in. And the new ones are being added at the top, and they're sort of fading out and shrinking as they go around. We're also adjusting the strength of the sink dynamically with what's called a wiggle. So I'll show you ZIM wiggle as well. Now what I'd like to do, I think, is just take you through verbally and visually some of these examples, and then we'll do another bubbling that looks through the code, and then we'll break it up into a couple things. Up top here, there's a menu. There's a way to look into the code. Let me just show you that quickly. So if we kick that code button, here is the code. If you're familiar with ZIM bits, you'll sort of recognize the format here, but there's the code for the particle emitter. And up at the top, you can go back to view, or you can hit the menu. So hit the menu, take a look at the snowflakes example. So traditional falling snowflakes, these ones, instead of just going straight down though, you see how they swirl? Whoosh. So it's almost like they have a bit of a wind to them. Look, there they go, whoosh, and they sort of swirl towards. And what we're doing is we're moving this a sink around the whole page this time with a very light attraction. And so the snowflakes are falling straight down, but then are heading towards the sink slightly. And note that there's also random particles being made, and these particles are distributed across the top of the page. So you can distribute particles into particles from a point, or you can distribute them along the vertical or along the horizontal, or you can even like specify specific spots. Back to the menu, and here's the flame. This is one of my favorites. What we have is two particle emitters here. One is showing the top flame, or like a back flame there, and one is showing the pink in the front. And if you click it, whoosh, you get a second color comes in, and you can click that one. And it's a third color now, the green. Nice, huh? Oh, there's sound. Maybe you're hearing sound. Oh, right, you're hearing sound. Cool, I'm not hearing sound. Right, so that kind of stuff. Neato, huh? So that's a flame. Oh, okay, and a menu, fireworks. We could have done, of course, sounds for fireworks. That would have made sense. But we'll let you finish the project on that. I have in the code places where you can put the sound. I just didn't bother making sound going. Clear sound. So here we have a particle emitter that shoots a stream like that, and then an explosion. So that's two different ones. And there's two different streams and two different explosions. So we've cloned the particle emitter, or cloned the emitter, we'll call it. ZIM emitter is the actual class name, or emitter. And each time we shoot, we change the particles that will be, we dynamically change the particles that will come out. And note that there's particles that have round dots, and there are particles that have line streams. So there's a line stream one and another line stream one. Here's a round dot one. We're also adjusting the length of time that it takes to do the particles depending on the height of the firework. And we're randomly throwing in a different number of particles to be emitted each time. So you've got this interval that will emit the particles. Usually you would just emit a particle every interval. And these are small, like 20 milliseconds. Well, they don't have to be. The streamer is set at it's one particle. That's one particle that's going, and we're tracing it, and that is just set, to go, hey, every randomly between 1 second and 3 seconds or something like that. But these other streams that are like the explosion is made up of fast bunch of particles. But sometimes we're emitting one particle. I don't know if we ever do 2 particles each interval, and other times we're doing 3 particles each interval, and the last time we're doing 5 particles each interval. So we didn't say a range of particles, we hard-coded specific numbers, and we're using the ZIMv value to pass that in. And what that does is it gives us an explosion that has lots sometimes, so there's lots, and then explosions that aren't as much, because that's kind of what fireworks do. And what we did is made it so the explosion with lots happens less than the explosions with a few. And we could have even gone further that way. We could have made it so that 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 20 fireworks are just like massive, and then it's like, ooh, and that's all pretty easy to do. Okay, anything else about that? Oh, we're using an event. So as this particle shoots up, it's got a decay event when it stops moving, and it's got a fizz event when it fades away. So there's a few different things. You can animate the particle's size and alpha with this thing called decay. But then you can also set a life for the particle, and sometimes it will decay before the life is finished. And when the life finishes, that's called a fizz event. So in this case, initially we had an event at the end of the life. But in this case, the particle stopped moving, and that's actually when we wanted to put the explosion. And then afterwards, the particle, the streamer, the stream that is coming up, like the thing that shoots, that one is finished before it decays, and that's where we want to put the fireworks. So we're putting that on the, which event was that called again? The decayed event. Alrighty, so fireworks, great. I'm glad we don't have sound in that one, because I'd be talking over fireworks sound the whole time. Okay, back to the menu. Here is an atom, and in this case we've chosen to start the emitter paused, and now we will activate the emitter. And you come. Now once again, these are just quick examples. I didn't really embed them in any final project or that kind of thing. Now you just got to watch it with that. This does use a lot of processing. These are all canvas-based animations at the moment. There is a way to make them GPU-based or WebGL-based through StageGL, in Create.js. I just haven't done much of that, but you're getting, 3 to 5 times the performance if you do that. So that just becomes as powerful as anything out there at the moment. But anyway, that one went for a while, and then a button comes back and we can activate it again. And this one's showing you drawing. So rather than make particles, we're passing in a shape, and then the shape is drawn with lines and colors that you specify and so forth, and instead of particles. So you can see that we're getting more of a smooth line rather than a particles. Cool, huh? And the last one here is just a bunch of particles falling and falling quickly, and then it sort of stamps out this pattern. And on occasion, we get a ZIM icon falling. Have we seen one yet? I don't think I've seen one yet. It's one of those things where every once in a while it happens. And I made it sort of an Easter egg prize. I still haven't seen it. Come on, Mr. Surprise. I did put this live. I wonder if I didn't upload the icon for it. Yeah, I was working locally. Okay, yeah, maybe that I didn't upload the icon image. Okay, let me just close that down in live. Let's fix this. So reduce this. Oh, desktop reveal, and we'll pop into here. And there's ZIM live, and we want to find the particles, LMNOP, particles, and assets, and icon for it, icon 4, and FTP upload selection. There she goes, and come back to our example here and a refresh. Hey, there's an icon. Good. So that's better. The ZIM icon coming through there. So that is the 6 set of particle emitters examples. And of course, the very home page one, which was a lot of fun. I don't have a link back to ZIM on this page. Isn't that nice? Which one do you want to see again? Well, let's see the first one again. There it goes. Now you can make these things graphics. As a matter of fact, if we go back to the ZIM site now and scroll down, this is a graphic right here. So that's a bitmap that is going of the image. I'm Inventor Dan Zen. We're here at a What's Bubbling at ZIM. Just took you through some examples of the particle emitter. In the next bubbling, we'll dig into the code for that. Hope you're having a good day. Ciao.